review time is starting now.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Straight from the Heart show. And I'll wait a few moments to see how many people are tuning in, give you time to tune in, and Facebook is like that as well. Tonight we've got the lovely Michelle Raymond. So I'll wait a few moments, and thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate your contribution, I appreciate your questions, your support, and of course your inspiration. So I'll wait a few moments, Michelle, and Michelle's already online waiting. So
yeah,
we'll just
I've
wait.
got a few people joining.
You've got a few people joining in. I'm still waiting to see who's joining in. Bear with me. Give me a little thumbs up, a little hello. So I'm going to turn the camera around and then we'll get...
Okay.
Here we are. We've got the lovely Michelle there. So, how are you today, Michelle? Welcome, first of all.
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So I'm going to introduce you now.
Okay.
Great
cool.
introduction I was telling you about before. So, I've known Michelle personally for 2 months now. Yeah, it's about 2 months, isn't it? So about 2 months we've known each other. We did the Speakers Express webinar with Warren. And we also done an event together. That was amazing. And I had the honour of introducing you then. And today I'm blessed in introducing you again. How many times can I say that, eh? So, I'm going to tell you a bit about Michelle. Michelle's an HR expert. Would you agree with me there, Michelle?
Yes.
Yeah. Also, she's a career transition coach. She owns her own company, I forgot now. The People's she's a speaker, and also she's a guru at networking. And I forgot to tell everyone, your mother, your mother, yes, and your wife. On top of all that, is there anything that you? Congratulations!
Yeah, and also I'm a lecturer in employment law.
See, I was just about to say, isn't there anything that you don't do? You do everything. You've got the Midas touch.
I sing as well.
Wow. So what I want to do now, I want you to tell us a bit about yourself. You introduce yourself a bit more. I just done it quick, boom, boom, boom. But obviously you can tell us a bit more.
Okay. So my name is Michelle and I run and manage the People's Partner, which is a HR and coaching consultancy. We're based in central London. And what I do is basically provide HR support for the SME market. So it's small to medium businesses, it's startups that need to get policy implementation, making sure employment law is intact, and also I do career transition coaching. So this is usually targeted at women, and it's usually women who want to go up the career ladder, or it's women who want to move from one business to the next. Not just women, because I have one male client, but yeah, my focus is targeted at women who are in a period of change. And what I do, I help with a number of things, so practical things, helping them with resources, giving them access to resources, but also I help with the mindset. Once you've been employed for a long period of time, it requires a different type of mindset to become self-employed. And then it takes a different type of mindset to actually run a fully fledged, scalable business. So it's a journey. And I just use my coaching expertise, my coaching background in NLP, and what I know of HR to help with those transitions.
Beautiful. Can I ask you to put your volume down a little bit because it's echoing a little bit off it?
Yeah, is that better?
That's a lot better.
Cool.
That's a lot better. That's good. So how long have you been in HR?
Oh, about 12 years now. So I started as a HR administrator, and I've just worked myself up, became a HR manager, then a head of, and now, run my own HR consultancy.
Oh, excellent. And what kind of companies have you worked for?
Oh, I've worked on some big names, G4S, London Underground, and some mid-level company there's one that I'm working with now, and they have like about 200 staff. I'm not sure why they don't actually have HR permanently. So although I do actually specialise with SMEs, I do have some bigger organisations that I've provided consultancy for, mediation or coaching.
Brilliant. And how about the coaching? How long have you been doing that for?
So I've been doing coaching, so I like to divide it into two. So I've been coaching for a long time as part of my HR, but I was being paid for my HR services, and then I did the coaching. But then I separated the two so that I can coach individuals, and I've been doing that as a paid coach for 2 years. So I've been coaching on and off before that in the HR capacity, but as coaching for individuals, as a paid employment, I've been doing that for about 2 years now.
Excellent. Brilliant. So one of the first questions, very important questions that I want to ask you, how does somebody who's found their passion, first of all, and they're currently working full-time, but they're doing that transition from their full-time work to turning their passion into their business, how do they do that? That's the first bit of the question. And also linked with this question is also that somebody who hasn't found their passion and they would like to find their passion, not necessarily meaning that they're going to go and working for themselves, setting up business. Not everybody will be setting up their business, but they're going to be supporting people. And whilst supporting people, and in my coaching sessions, this is what I said, not everybody will be leaders, but become a supporter of a worthwhile cause. So that's what I would say, but I would like your expert analysis on that. So should we start off with somebody who's found their passion?
Yes, so just to recap the questions for those that can't hear, Yutan was asking me, if you're in employment, how do you make that transition into self-employment or to run your own business? And if you have not found that passion, how do you find that passion? So those are the two questions that Yutan had just asked me. So first of all, when you're in employment, now I'm looking at it with my HR hat on now, and you have to be very, very, very careful when you're currently employed and you wish to be self-employed. There's a couple of things why I say that. A lot of people use their time at work to start building up their self-employment business, and I will steer away from doing that unless you do it during break times and lunch times. The reason being, if your company doesn't know that you're running another business, they can say, well, especially if it's in your contract, if your contract clause says that you cannot have another business, you cannot be working for somebody else, you're already breaking the clause in your contract. So you'll be in breach of contract. So you've got to be very careful of that. Now, if there is nothing in your contract that says you cannot work elsewhere, then you're free to do so. But I would say do so in your own time. So you use your lunch breaks or your other breaks if you need to do something on Facebook, or if you have to respond to clients, or if you have to send an email, do that in your own time. If you do it on work time, once again, you're breaching contract, and they have the right to stop you from working on their time. So you have to be really, really careful when you're moving into self-employment that you do it in your own time. And be careful also if you're starting a business that you're already in. So, for example, I used earlier, if you're a florist, if you work for a florist and you want to get into into working with flowers, you have to be careful. Will you be taking your current owner's clients? Are you going to find your own clients? So all of these types of things you need to be careful. Once again, it could be in breach of contract if you start taking their clients, even if their clients move over to you. So you have to be really, really careful when we're going down that self-employment route. And the reason why I say this is because I've actually worked with organisations who have wanted to dismiss somebody because they found out that they're working on their time running their own business. So it's just one of those things to be careful of. And in relation to your second question,
before you carry on, I just want to say something.
Yes.
Everybody, I forgot to ask everybody, get yourself a notepad. listen to these valuable things. I didn't know that. I didn't know what you've just said. And to me, that's very, very important. Because I was doing that sort of thing. So if I got bored, I was like quickly getting my phone out. But but this is on replay anyway. I'm going to be posting it on Facebook. It's going to be on my YouTube channel, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be putting it on your YouTube channel as well. So you can always play it back. But if you want to take notes live from the lovely Michelle, get yourself a notepad and pen. So sorry to cut you in your flow. Get back into the zone, girlie.
No. And I'm also, just going back on with my HR hat on, be careful. If you work for a company and you're already doing 35 working hours for them, and you're working on your own business and you're putting in another 10 hours, you're doing 45 hours. Now, by law, if you have not signed an opt-out agreement, you're doing more than 40 hours a week, and your main employer has an obligation, a health and safety obligation, to make sure you're not doing more than the hours of work, so that you don't come into work tired because all weekend you've been working on your own business, and then when you come into the office or you go into work and you're working with machinery, you don't have the sustenance, you do not have the strength, but you do not have the willpower to do it because you've been exhausted all weekend. So there's an obligation with employers to make sure that if you have not signed this opt-out working time directive, if you're doing more than 40 hours, they have the right to question you. And once again, not a lot of people know that. So these are just tips to just make sure that you're aware of these little things. Don't wear yourself out that when you get into work on a Monday morning, you can't give to your employer that is paying your salary, which is your main source of income, because you're working on your business. If you're going to work in your business 100%, be prepared. If you're still employed, give your employer 100% as well.
Valuable, so valuable. So next part of the question was somebody who hasn't found their passion, but they're probably in a job that the mundane job that they don't like, and they're walking like this on Monday morning, going to a funeral. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who wants to find their true passion and do what they love and love what they're doing?
Yeah. Do you know what I say to that? Take a conscious look at what you do naturally. Now, naturally, I can talk forever. As you can tell, I can talk. So my thing is, I love to talk. And by nature, I like to give advice, I like to give encouragement, I like to inspire, and I like to motivate. So I've been doing this way before I made it a business. So I've been doing it naturally. So I always say to people, work on your natural skills, your natural abilities, and then you will see this is what I'm truly passionate about. I think what happens is when there's a fad of, I want to be the next, I want to be the next Tony Robbins, I want to be the next Brendan Pashard or something like that, people get washed away. They get washed away, and this is not their true calling. This is not the truth. So when you try to sit with them and you want them to coach you or support you, they don't have the integrity, they don't have the credibility, they don't have the experience, and they don't have the passion. So my thing, when you know what really makes you tick, what makes you happy, things that you don't mind missing sleep for, that you don't mind missing food for, that is your passion. So I'm hugely passionate about HR. I'm hugely passionate about coaching. I can talk about it for days on end. My poor husband Peter, when I get home, if I've just had a new client, I'm always telling them, oh my gosh, I'm helping them with this, I'm putting in this project, I'm helping them with this employment law, I'm making sure they've got their right policies and procedures in place. I can go on and on because I live and breathe it. My bookshelf lives and breathes it. I remember someone saying to me, you know when someone's passionate about when you walk in their house and see their books. All my books are all on coaching, on business, and on HR, public speaking. That's all my books consist of. So anyone who doesn't know me, they can walk in my house and tell. They can talk to my daughter and tell. Because now my daughter's got in the habit, she can tell you some NLP techniques that some people don't even know, because I talk about it all the time. When I'm having my coaching session on Skype, she's in the background, she's picking up, and then she'll tell me, oh mum, you need to chunk down with the information. Who does that at 11 years old? And now she wants to write an ebook because she sees me at home writing content for my online coaching program, and now she gets into it. So when you're passionate about something, everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. You don't need to tell somebody because they see it. It seeps through your pores. People can feel it when you talk. They can hear it. It's just in the atmosphere, and that is true passion.
Love it. And I'll give you a little example on that one as well. When I did my first event at the Royal Festival Hall, in 48 hours, I ate twice. I didn't even get hungry. I didn't think about dinner. I didn't think about anything. It's what you're passionate about. Sleep doesn't come into it. Nothing else comes into it. That's what you want to do. And that's how you find your passion. Secondly, what I like to pick out from what you've said is the books. The books. And we're very similar on that. I found my passion. You know, I'm passionate about my speaking, my mentoring, my coaching. And obviously now I've got my podcast, which I'm really passionate about as well. And today's been, thank you so much, because it's been really, really comfortable, because last week I did it with Javon. And I was starstruck. I was like a little boy meeting Justin Bieber, for example, and and I just let him be. So that's about the books is very, very important. Switch off the TV and start reading. That's one thing I will say to people. And about your daughter. Your daughter is 11 years old, so she's a lot older than my daughter. My daughter is 3. But the way my daughter speaks for a 3-year-old is amazing. She knows about gratitude. One of her mottos is I can and I will, but it's everything that she hears at home. She hears Les Brown, she hears, I don't really put Tony Robbins because of the swearing. So she hears Bob Proctor, she hears Javon, she hears Les Brown's son. So it's so important what you speak in your household as well.
Exactly.
And I like to advise people and actually promote. Watch what you speak in front of your children. Not just speak and what you do.
So important.
It's
so important. So, I mean, and your children are a reflection of you. Absolutely. So whatever, if your child, you know, when people say, oh, my child's so rude, my child answered back, where do they pick it up from?
There you go.
You have to hold yourself accountable. And I know if my daughter leaves this house and she disrespects somebody, she's going to hear it from me when she gets home, because that's not how I brought her up. So I brought her up to respect and to have manners. So when she's around the house, she picks up things. And because I go to church, she goes to church. So she picks up things, and that is what it's about. It's growing a community that work together, that serve, that help, and we all just grow together to just make this world a better place, because I can't do it by myself, you can't do it by yourself, and we all have to all chip in, you know. And I like to say I'm a game changer, but I would like to say I'm a world changer, but I know I'm not there yet, and I'm honest. And one thing, I'm brutally honest with where I am and where I want to go. So I want to be a world changer, but we can only do that if we all work together.
Remember the 2mm rule?
Yes, exactly.
Keep that in your head. It just boom, and it's going to go there. Just always remember that, the 2mm rule. But going back on this about the parents as well, because your children mirrors you. And Bob Proctor says that little child watches you. One day I'm going to be that person. One day I'm going to be walking like that person, talking like that person. So choose wisely what you're going to do, how you're going to act in front of your children. It's not even acting. If you are that person, naturally, that's who you're going to be. And that's what your children are going to be. So that's going to be, you're going to be proud as parents anyway. It's going to make your life easier, and it's going to make your children's life a lot better as well.
Exactly. Children do what you do. They don't actually necessarily do what you say.
Exactly.
So if I say to my daughter, do this, do that, you know, she'll give me 101 reasons why not to. But once she sees me acting in a way that is respectful, which is polite, which is about growth and development, and I just see her, I walk upstairs and I can hear her. She's on my Instagram, doing Instagram live and talking about her ebook and why we should take action. And I never told her to do it. But she sees me doing it.
There you go.
This is it.
Action speaks louder than words. Exactly. I love action. Action is when boom, the movie starts. That's what I love it. I love it. I love it. Right, one thing that I really picked up from you, Michelle, And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's my networking. I remember in your event, in our event, you said if you want to get to people like Sir Richard Branson, Lord Alan Sugars, you need to start connecting with the U-Town, start connecting with the Michelle's, with the Warrens, with the Nafisas, with the Receipters, and and so on. And I learned that from you, and through learning that, today I'm in touch with people like Javon Langford, Tony Robbins' son, Les Brown's son, Joel Brown, and so many other people. But prior to that, I was in touch with people like Raghav and people, that coaches like that. But eventually, through that networking and learning how to talk, and all new skills just came out of me, and how to approach people. But I'm not an expert, I'm not a guru at it yet, but I'm going to pass you on to Michelle, and she's going to tell you how it is. Come on, let's hit them with it.
Let me tell you, I am so super passionate. Anyone who knows me, I'm always going on about connecting with the right people. I've been listening to a book, 6 Months to Six Figures, and Peter Goode said, if you want to reach billionaires, if you want to reach millionaires, you need to speak to billionaires, because you'll get there quicker. And my thing is, I look at my circle and I think, who are in my circle? I want to be with my peers, but I also need people who are higher than me, who are going to push me, who's going to challenge me, and who will elevate my circle of influence. Because my thing is, it's all good that we're all playing the game, that we're all in it and we're all trying to help each other. But sometimes we just need somebody who's 2, 3, 4 levels higher than us, who's going to speak into our lives and just show us a new way of doing it, a new perspective, and it cuts our learning curve. It cuts our learning curve so quickly. We get shared knowledge. My thing is, I said to myself, I want to have the telephone numbers of millionaires in my iPhone. And I want to get to a level where I can just text and say, listen, I'm writing something. What do you think of this? I want to get to that level. And I can say that I have two telephone numbers of 2 millionaires in my back pocket. And I've built a relationship with them through service and through offering, and through even my HR services came in handy with one of them. And they've, my advice helped them implement a HR system within their business. So I can use the skills I have in HR and, other skills of service and just being there and being an advocate and sharing content and sharing what they're doing, crewing at events, it's those types of things. So when you get to a position where you move from networking to building sustainable relationships, that's where you've got it, where it's all about sustaining those relationships. Because we network on that level, and then we go home with loads of business cards and don't know what to do with them. This morning, I was looking through all my business cards. I've got about 300, I swear, about 300 business cards, and I just threw them up in the air. And I was like, I can't do this. And I usually put them in my Excel sheet, and then I transfer it to MailChimp and all good knows what. And I thought to myself, half of these people I can't remember. Half of these people won't remember me. I'm not going to see them. I can't serve them. They can't serve me. I'm not their target market. They're not mine. And do I want to even be friends with them? There's so much to think about. So my thing is, when you network effectively, network smart. So it's not about meeting as many people as you possibly can and giving your business card to as many people as you can. Find 1, 2, 3 or 4 people that you highly connect with on a spiritual level, a vibrations level, or a business level. And those 4 people you nurture. You keep in contact, you send them emails, or you might send them content that is relevant to their business, and you build on those 4. You cannot build relationships with everyone you meet. You just select 2, 3, 4 people that you can connect with. You work with them, you build those relationships, you collaborate. I'm working on an ebook about building power partnerships, because I'm looking to connect with some powerful people who I can leverage their knowledge and time, they can leverage my knowledge and time. It's got to be a win-win situation. And that's what I learned from my mentor is, Michelle, it's got to be a win-win situation. Not a give, not just a take. So that's about building power partnerships. That's today's economy is built on sustainable relationships. Today's economy is no longer about money. It's about who you know and who knows you. That is today's economy.
Did you hear that, people? That is so valuable. Thank you, Michelle. So I'm a newbie at networking. So I've met, for example, Javon, and I'm there, and like, he's giving me his details. And me being me, I'm new to this. Hi Javon, it's you, Tam. I think you're amazing. I really want to meet you. Is there any chance I can meet you somehow? And yeah, I really worship the ground you walk on, and blah blah blah. Is that the correct way?
No. Do you know what? What you should, in my ebook that I'm creating, there's two things I said you'll either be with somebody who's a key person of influence. You'll either be their peer, so you don't have to earn the same amount of money as them, but you see yourself on their level, or you'll be their mentee. Those are the two things to get into that circle. And there's one guy, I can't mention his name, but we were at a training, some training together, and we connected, and literally connected because we shared the same laptop. We both had Apple Macs, and we started talking about NLP, and we both have a love of NLP. Started talking, and we just built such a great relationship with each other. And then I think I Googled him about on the 4th day of training. I need to find out the brother's a millionaire. I'm talking to him like me and him are friends. And I just thought, but you know what? It made me think sometimes when you know somebody's status, somebody's wealth, your persona changes. So I was kind of glad that I didn't know who he was, and that we related now on a level of friendship, and not like of, oh my gosh, this guy, he's so big, he's so great. And I think honour where honour is due. So if you know somebody who has walked the walk and has talked the talk and has the credibility behind them, you give them the respect and the honour that is due. But you don't get into the stage where, oh, it's little me and big you. You know that he's got value, but you too have value as well. That is it.
So that
it's just different. You've got different levels of social impact, but you are just as valuable.
See, that goes back to law of attraction, what you just said there. Because when you hear people trying to manifest certain things and they say, oh, I want to be like that rich man with a big house, with a big car, they're holding that man or woman on that pedestal. It's a pedestal, so they're underneath. So for them, it's never reachable. That's why people never manifest. You see what I mean? And that's exactly the same principle. That's what you're talking about as well. When you're talking to these people on the level, when you're communicating with them, don't email them straight away. I think you're fantastic, blah, blah, blah.
Don't be desperate.
Try and add something. Is there a way that I can support you? Is there a way I can serve you? Is there a way I can make a difference to you, your business, to your daily life? And you will find as well, when you ask successful people to help you into your success, they love it. They like to have a mentee, you see? And it's amazing. And I'm there and I love it, and I absolutely love it. And the true servers, they will do it. And the one that are in there for not serving, you will know. You will know in your journey, because in my journey I've reached out for so many people where people have been saying, oh, but this is how it is, but there's a big charge. And certain people who are just saying, do you know what? I'm here. Learn what I've done. And then what also I'd like to add to that as well, Jim Rohn, you said that in your talk as well. Jim Rohn says you become the average of the 5 people you spend time with.
You hang around.
Yeah? So if you've networked 5 people, that you can have them on your weekly, say for example, your weekly contact, and that's amazing. Look at us, how the speakers express, how many people just linked, and then you need whatever we need, we just put it on our WhatsApp and we're talking, and it makes life so much easier.
Yeah, and I think the one thing to add as well, so me and you are on the same page, we're on the same page, we're still growing, we're learning and everything. And what I really liked about our group is that we're all in the same field, we're all doing the same thing, but we're in a land of plenty. So we don't think, oh my gosh, that person's going to take that person as to be their potential client. We don't look at it like that. There's no egos, there's no competitiveness. It's all about collaboration. And my thing is, I look at the world as, it's not a world of scarcity, it's a world of plenty. So I could be a career transition coach, and my fellow neighbour can be a career transition coach, and I don't feel bad for her, she don't feel bad for me, because my thing is, I'm in the land of plenty. So if somebody goes to you, if you win, I win, baby, because we're here, we're in the industry, we want the best for our industry. And if someone comes to me, that's fine. I have a different coaching technique than somebody else.
Exactly.
So, and there's enough to go around.
Exactly. Abundance is the key word. And collaboration, love that word as well. I was speaking to Stephen last night, Stephen Haggerty, and he's amazing. He's a brother to me, and this is somebody who I've met, and we're collaborating. We haven't known each other we've known each other the same amount of time that I've known you. But it's getting to, when great minds think alike, or when you're the same frequency, when we're sending messages to the WhatsApp group that we're mentoring, we're sending the same thing at the same time, bang, bang. Without synchronicity, you see what I mean? Because we're on the same level. And make sure people, I love this one, you become the average of the 5 people you spend.
Exactly.
You see?
Check your 5 people.
There you go. And I'm fortunate, I've got about 50 people that are like that. So that's me. But we're running short on time now. The last thing I wanted to speak to you about was to talk about the People's Partner.
Right.
And what it's about, where people can get the website, what services and stuff. So you've got probably about a 3-minute slot for that, and then we'll do a bit of questioning and see if anyone's put questions in here.
Yeah, sure. I think a few people's joined on my Facebook as well. So in short, the People's Partner is a HR and coaching consultancy. So I provide service to the SME market, to small businesses, even large, and I do contract work with them, or I do on-site HR. And my background is in policy, is in employment law, and in mediation. And then the other side of it is individual one-to-one career coaching, and it be career transition or moving from one business to the next, helping you with the resources, keeping you accountable, giving you clarity, and making sure you have the right mindset in order to be a success, and moving from the level of self-employment to a fully scaled business where you can live of it. Because we want to serve, which makes sense, and I'm all about the serving, but behind that we need to live. So you need to make sure that your business is compatible with growth and scalability, and so I just support on that. So that's the People's Partner. My website is www.thepeoplespartner.com, and there's still new things I need to add to it, lots of more interesting things I want to add to it, so watch this space, there's more to come from me.
See, people, you've got so much value tonight from the People's Partner. I love the People's Partner. But you're so talented. You're so talented, and it's an absolute honour to have you on this. And you can say that you've been on a podcast that Javon's been on. Soon there's going to be Preston on it. There's going to be quite a lot of people, and I don't want to be messing it up.
Great. I feel honoured. Really honored and honoured.
Cool. I'm trying to sort out this phone now. Let me turn the camera. I don't know what's... So if there's any question you want to ask...
Yeah, I'm having a look.
Answer, sorry, should I say?
I've had a few comments, actually. Oh, yeah, Charlene, just to add, because I had to turn my laptop down so you couldn't hear you, Tam. So what I tried to do is... go over the question that he asked, so hopefully that helped.
Good.
So I had to turn you down so not many people could hear you.
There we are.
David Daniels said he thought I was going to take off with all that passion. I was getting that's how I am. So really sorry. I do get really engrossed, especially something that I believe in from the core. You've got to believe it from the core.
Exactly. Well, you've been amazing tonight, darling, and
thank you.
You know what? Thank you for coming, for adding all this value. And the last thing I would like to ask you: what 3 golden nuggets would you give to people tonight before you go, before you sign off?
three things. I would say three things is have a standard. You need to have a high standard that you work towards, and that people cannot move you from that standard. So which means sometimes you have to say no to things. Sometimes you have to not go to certain places because you've got a standard that you want to maintain. The other thing I would say is really know your craft. If you want to be a coach, public speaker, you want to be an IT professional, you want to work for Forever Living, multi-level marketing, whatever it is, be the best in your field. Be that KPI, that key person of influence. Know your craft, because people buy people. They're not going to buy the business, they're going to buy you because you understand the craft. You know you have a message behind that. So I would say really know the craft. And the third thing is, of course, check your environment. We're the average of the 5 people we hang around with, so I would say check your environment. Your environment will either elevate you or devalue you. That's what I say.
There you go. And Michelle just said KPI. What I would like to add to that KPI, all right, it's Michelle, it's little Michelle, but Joel Brown calls it the MVP, the most valuable player in your team.
Like that.
You see? So you're saying it in your way, and Joel Brown from Addicted to Success, from the biggest website in the world, is saying the same thing. Yeah. So people, this is what Michelle's about. This is what Michelle's about. So listen, she's very valuable. I love her to bits. I love her husband to bits as well. Amazing man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next week, as you mentioned, David Daniels. I've got David Daniels next week. So he wants to change my whole thing altogether. As is David, I will allow him. He wants to call it Straight from the Heart versus Seed of Wisdom. But I don't like you said, we're not competitive in our industry. We help each other. So it's not going to be a versus thing, it's going to be a collaboration. That's what I like to call it. And on that note, I'm going to end it. Thank you so much. And I'll have a beautiful evening. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you everybody for joining in. Thank you for watching Michelle. Thank you for supporting her. And thank you for always being there. And on that note, I'm going to end it. And have a beautiful night. Have a positive evening. But most of all, live well with one another. Because if we don't, what's the point? I'm going to sign out straight from the heart.